There he
What's
is,
going on,
the man
brother?
himself. I'm doing pretty good. I've literally just finished doing the last panel on the third page, as I said I would do for this week. So let's get started with introduction, shall we?
Of course, of course. You want me to
All
go
right.
first?
Yes, please. Go right ahead.
Everybody knows me as Ox. I am Samuraiox on here, YouTube, Twitter, basically anywhere you can find me on social media. I've been doing my own comic series called I Never Forgot for the past 3 years. Currently working on wrapping up issue 9. You can read it on Webtoons by going over there and searching for I Never Forgot. And I think that's about it.
That's awesome. So my name is Yann. I go by the name of Yannimal on the internet, and I've been working on a little science fiction comic book series called Phosphor, along with Ox and the other people in the V100s, the 100 Days of Making Comics, as set up by Kevin Cross, of which many people are still participating. And so this is our weekly live stream to keep ourselves accountable, penalties included if we don't reach our goals. So time to catch up for the first week of August, I'd say.
Yeah,
Great.
episode number 4, I believe, right?
I think we're doing pretty good. We're not quite at 100 yet, but yeah.
We're easily on our way. Oh. Your internet's freaking out. Or my internet's freaking out, but one of our internets is freaking out. You might be straightening out, but I totally missed whatever you just said.
I said, like, if you just keep talking and like about your week, I think that might just work.
Right on. Yeah, so going over what we had to do for last week, we did lose the video, so we couldn't look back to see what we had to do. I believe for my goals, I said I was going to finish coloring 9 and get the sketchbook together. There's some final bits to do for 9, but for the most part, that's all completed. I also was going to paint issue 9 cover, which looks dope.
Yeah.
This is probably one of my favorite covers I've done. I even took time to do the back covers. I was in a real painted mood the other day, so all the covers and everything is painted for issue 9 and 10. And then finally, had to do this illustration, which that's where we were at last week. Bunch of notes spread amongst it. Haven't gotten to ink this yet, but I mean, just got word from her before we went live that everything looks good. She's good with that, and so moving forward with that illustration, should be done with that probably today. I've got to ink it and then hit it up with some color for an illustration after I ink it, because once I get it inked, I'll get it scanned into the computer so I can do a inverted image of it.
Yeah.
Because she wants to use the inverted image for like thumbnails for her podcast and whatnot, and then a regular illustration, finished up version, like for regular social media sharing around the internet and whatnot. So figured I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone by just doing it that way. So seems like it's working out all right.
Awesome. So most of issue 9 is colored, and then was there any more webtoons to do?
Issue 6 was up. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do 7 and 8. I think I'm probably going to break them up into thirds or even fourths, and then do like a fourth of each issue for the next month or so. And then by that time, 9 will have been in the wild for a good month or so before putting up fourths of that. But I really definitely wanted to get the 6. I think I needed 6 issues up for the contest. So right now it's just adding some more things and making sure I stay consistent with posting, which is the big thing. But
Yeah, but my question would be for the posting on Webtoons. So there's a little bit of a competition going on Webtoons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are you on track to meeting the requirement?
Yeah,
How much you have to pay?
when I posted issue 6, I believe the contest for the category I'm going in
Mm-hmm.
um,
Which
is 6 episodes at 40 panels each, which I'm pretty sure each one of my issues clears that easily. So
yeah.
I'll probably go over that today and make sure there's 40 panels every episode or issue, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm fairly certain that's all taken care of. So right now it's just making sure I stay consistent week to week.
And then okay, so if you manage to get that out on time, like what category are you in?
I put it in the love/drama or like slice of life type competition. So that was it took six episodes for that. I
Okay.
think regular horror was like 5 episodes,
Okay.
but I figured since I had the 6 relatively ready to go when I started posting, that was the way I wanted to go with it.
It's pretty awesome. Do you have any idea like how many people are in your category or no? Can you see that?
I have no idea.
No?
I've seen a bunch of people posting that they're entering the contest, but
Yes.
I went and looked, and like a lot of the leaders are only at like 1 or 2 episodes
Okay.
right now, which they have another month, I think,
To
a
catch
little
up?
over a month to catch up, which is like, if they don't have them done already, that's a hell of a lot of work to do. So
Yeah.
hoping I
Yeah.
just hold on to my lead since I already have it. So I have noticed since I put the 6th episode up, it has started picking up a little bit of traction. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm pleased with that.
That's cool, man. But like, if you can see the other people, like, is there any kind of like special notification that people can see that you're posting in regards to this competition, or do you look just like any other comic book?
Yeah. My I believe my page has a little contest badge up in the corner of the thumbnail for it. So
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's pretty cool. Awesome. All right. Well, for my week, I didn't actually like last week. I didn't quite catch on myself that because last week I failed, and then basically for this week I set myself up with the exact same amount of work.
mm-hmm.
So I was definitely cursing a lot this week because I'm like, oh my god, this is insane. But it's been quite a little learning experience. So I've got 3 pages, which I can show.
Just to be clear, last week you set the goal to do 3 pages for the week, but you only got 2 done, right?
No, I set the goal for 2 pages the week, but I still had to catch up on 5 for the last week. Like I wasn't gonna let go of that one. Okay.
That's right.
Which effectively meant I was doing exactly the same, 3 pages plus a penalty. So you've seen some of this already, but I hope this translates. I hope it's not too blurry. Otherwise,
Nope. It looks like you're coming in clear. So
okay. So this is my my new. Well, it's basically old numbering. So page 5, right? And then of course
so that's going to be on the right side of the like big environment one that you showed last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, at least I think so. I can't. It's kind of hard myself to keep track of it. I might have to rearrange things, but like, if I remember correctly, originally she's going up the stairs, then you flip the page, and then she's walking into this room where all these characters are. Right. Okay. So this is where we definitely go a little bit more sci-fi. So every page for the first 6 pages, we're constantly going up the deck until we're finally on top of the vehicle.
That's awesome. I didn't even realize till you just said that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So basically, you go from the lower decks and like the lower class people, if you will, all the way up to management, all the way up to maintenance up on the roof. And then so here you finally get to see like we're on like inside this vessel, which is enormous.
God, that's gorgeous.
Like it's like six. It's easily like 6 or 7 stories high. Yeah, I love this one because like I love like doing like extreme lighting and like shadows.
Yeah, I was just seeing those shadows from the one guy. It's insane how much detail you've gotten into those pages.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that still shows because I do feel like just trying to keep up, I've had to go faster and faster. And so I definitely feel like I've dropped detail in some panels. But that's part of it. Like this one, which I still think looks pretty cool.
Well, yeah.
And then, there we go. So yeah,
That turned out. I love that cell phone shot.
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi cell phone. I figure they still have cell phones. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you need something to communicate with all those different floors and levels. So.
Yeah, but I also feel like we kind of like it's science fiction, but certain things are just going to be ripped straight out of this world.
Yeah.
There's never in my mind a point like this is in the year so and so, so they have this kind of technology. Like I do not think about it like that at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like that's not really. I don't even feel like that's really what it's about. Like in Alien, you never thought like, oh, they're in 2273, even though at some point you did find out like what time.
Yeah.
But it wasn't important.
That's cool. So. I like that ambiguous feel of it could be set anytime.
Yeah.
Granted, if you had landlines, I'm sure it would date it for sure in the 80s and whatnot. So.
Hey, they had landlines in Battlestar Galactica. That's how they got away.
It's true. It's true.
It's true. They had the analog phone lines. Just saying.
Right on. So how'd the rest of the week treat you?
It's been interesting, like being back full time. Let me just pull up some reference here because I'm going to keep drawing.
Oh, you're actually back full time? I thought you were just going full time to get caught up on the 1 week you missed.
That was the 1 week in July. Right now, as of August, I'm back full time.
Okay.
Because, got to save up the holidays. And that's never mind. Got to save up the holidays. Got to make the money, and then it is off on a big journey to the Philippines for me in October. Don't drop my house.
October, huh?
Yeah.
Geez, that's only a couple months away now.
I know.
That's
Same
awesome.
for us finishing these comic books. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So, did you get any other art done during the week?
No, nothing. Like literally nothing. Nothing else. I've literally just been working on
compared
the pages
respectively
every day.
You've done a hell of a lot of art, so I can't fault you for that.
No, but I've literally like even when it comes to like warming up, like so many days, like drawing on the job, like at the office, and then when I came back home, it was like straight on the page, like no warm up, like just like I only have so many hours a day, like I have to make them count.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can just pull up a little bit of reference for you. Where is it? Okay. I think this should work. And then I'm going to switch over. So you keep talking. What are your plans for the next? What are your plans for the next week?
Yeah. So for the next week, I've got 14 days, I think, left in the 100-day run that I'm doing right now. I plan on at least being everything completed of issue 9, which I just laid it out yesterday to see how much is left to do. And that's basically everything I've got to do. Thank you notes, various sketches amongst the back of the book, getting all like pages laid out, and like so by this time next week, I definitely want 9 completed, all the PDFs made, sent off to my printer. So that's one of the main goals. For a second goal, I'm definitely moving on to the illustration for a friend's comic he has on Kickstarter right now.
Mm-hmm.
That Dreamer's Echo Volume 2. And I don't know what I want to do for the third goal. I could say finishing up that illustration, but I think that's kind of
Which
lame.
yeah, you should do something new, but you could do something small, maybe.
I'm trying to think of, and I don't know what to do small considering I have moved on to doing the marker month and doing a marker sketch every day. So let me think about the third goal for sure.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
I think finishing up 9 is going to be the biggest part of it. I don't necessarily have any challenges. I think tomorrow we have a family reunion I have to go to, but other than that,
family reunion. Okay.
should be pretty easy to get to everything else. So, yeah. What about you? What do you got for plans and challenges?
Well, for this week, I kind of want to drop down to 2 pages, fully inked, and then hopefully just. So one of the things that I was kind of interesting this week, like just like dealing with this self-imposed stress of getting the art done on time, and just drawing. Like there were definitely a couple of moments where, I just didn't feel like the art was coming together. Mm-hmm. And I was just not happy with the results. And there's definitely a list of small fixes that I've got in my head in Photoshop when it gets time to add the gray tones. For example, I'll just show you. So like these hands, right? Mm-hmm. They're not the same size. I mean, so very easily fixed. I can just resize it so it fits.
Yeah.
Like there's little things like that. It's the same like this guy over here. Over here, he seems much smaller. Like he's a pretty big guy, you know, and he just seems too small. So very easily, I can just shrink her down, increase his bulk a little bit, like in Photoshop. Like these are the little things I feel like didn't quite work out as well, you know. Like some of the speed lines here, I feel like should go across her body. So I can do that in whiteout, and I've got my little brush right here. But I'm just not very good with whiteout, to be perfectly honest. So I think I'd rather just save that for Photoshop, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, when you white out, you just use a brush?
I've been trying to use a brush, and I've been trying to use this one right here.
Okay. All right.
I am just not very good at it. Like I can just not get the consistency down. I'm not much of a painter. So I know there's tricks with like turpentine that you can thin it out. But I don't know, like I think sometimes we can just keep convenience sake and just, you know, it's just so much easier and faster in Photoshop, you know? And I think that is perfectly okay. Let me just see if I can find more reference while I'm drawing here. Okay, here we go. So yeah, so I want to keep it down to 2 because like this experience of like stressing out and just getting the art done kind of like I really feel like I'm really of the opinion that a lot of comics look the way they do because of deadlines, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can be the best artist in the world, but like what happened?
That you totally. I know what I'm gonna do for my third goal now. You keep going though.
Yeah. So, you know, you could be the best artist in the world, but like you like depending what model you're working in, like if you're working on like European comics and you simply put out 1 a year, you can do whatever you want. But like, you know, like if you take the American or the Japanese model and you're just cranking them out, it's like at some point something has to give, right?
Oh yeah,
like you
absolutely.
have to make concessions for time.
Especially the longer going mangas that like they're doing weekly, putting out chapter after chapter, like that's insane. Like I don't even know how they're able to get. I mean, clearly once they hit a certain point, they have a lot of people working on it and cleaning up lines and whatnot for people, but at some point that gets so. I couldn't imagine doing a chapter every week, even if I was only doing black and white.
Yeah, but like even American superhero comics, like putting one out a month. I mean, you're talking a page a day at the very least, and that's not even taking into account that you might want to have a life. and
I think it's a lot easier with American comics just because I think they make sure they have the buffer of like 2 or 3 issues done before even going to print. So
yeah,
I
they
think
do now.
that, yeah, definitely back in the 90s, 80s, like they were definitely going monthly because they had people that were crazy and were able to get that kind of hit those deadlines and whatnot.
Yeah, but I also feel like a lot of artists, kind of adopted their style or what they would put on the page, and they just had to kind of limit themselves just in order to get the page out on time, and so like so I kind of feel like a lot of comic books look the way they do. It's not just skill, it's you're trying to get the book out on time,
Yeah.
and you're trying to be consistent, and so you have to set limitations on what you're able to do, unless you're our good friend Jeff Lafferty and you can paint a page a day and you get that done in 70 days.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
speaking of which,
exceptions to the rule. Yeah.
I mean, since we've started these accountability, have you noticed you getting more work done just because you've been pressured to do so?
Yes, of course. I mean, 3 pages a week, Like, it's what I wanted, but then I realized I couldn't and keep the quality up. And now I'm like, I feel like there's a happy medium of like, I don't want to say good enough, but like there's panels where I'm really happy, and then there's panels where I'm like, I wish I had an extra day.
Yeah.
But I have to turn it in.
Hell yeah.
And so that's like that's why I'm coming back to this topic of like, like you have to get it done, and like so you have to make these concessions in what you're capable of putting out because of the deadline, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. I think now that you've found that happy medium, I think you're going to notice that with the time you have allotted to get everything done, I think you're not going to necessarily make the concessions, but I think you're going to be able to compensate for what you want to accomplish.
Yeah. But it's also like what I'm looking forward to, like the more experience I get making these pages, the more I'll be able to decide like, I want to do an environmental shot here, or I want to do like a big shot like this, or like a close up on someone's face. It's going to take me X amount of time, and then just be able to decide like, I would love to do a double page spread here, but there's no time. To have that kind of insight, I think that's really cool.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
So I'm trying to do my since I ran out of time. So I'm trying to draw your character V here.
I'm liking it.
And,
you're doing her as like the doll in the packaging?
Yes, like an action figure.
So rad.
I thought that'd be cool.
So if you're not aware, I believe both of us hit our goals this week, so we don't have punishments.
Yes.
But Yann did not hit his goal last week, as he stated so far, and this is why he's doing his punishment. Last week, I drew his character Anne, and he did my character Wrath for punishments. But I think that's one of the bigger parts of these accountability blogs is like the fact that we're holding each other accountable, but also there's punishments for not hitting the goals, which is awesome.
Yes, which is great. Except when it's karaoke.
Well, you've missed that fate, because if he was going to miss today, he was definitely doing karaoke for you guys.
When does the karaoke reset button happen? So I can slack.
No, you're totally back in the clear again.
Okay.
So you gotta hit 3. You gotta hit 3 straight. So, back to the gas that I expelled. For my third goal, I definitely want to get the first page. Let's say character designs and the cover kind of designed for this new comic that I'm starting with Luke called Levitate Me.
Oh, whoa, what's this?
Oh, well, if you haven't been checking out my Patreon, I just posted...
Not since yesterday.
He sent me the scripts a couple of years back. And this was one of the first projects I was gearing up to getting my art better. So I could... so we could do this project, and then we have a bigger project planned, but we're going to hit this one first.
Yeah.
See where that goes, and then tackle the bigger project. But yeah, so far he only has this first issue written. I asked him the other day if I could work on the first few pages for getting him into issue 9. I think yesterday I decided that I'm going to be doing it for issue 10 though. But I think getting the ball rolling on that and starting a new project is definitely something I'm looking forward to right now.
Can you give us a hint at what genre, what you guys are planning, or?
Well, it's in the superhero realm.
Hence, okay.
So it's quite the difference of my comic. I think I'm going to be playing it relatively. I think it's going to have that 80s and 90s X-Men look.
Awesome. Aim high.
Don't know if I can say very much more.
Okay, no, that's cool. Like, you know, but like superheroes alone, I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been throwing. Well, we started on thinking on this idea for a couple years back when I started my comic, because I told him when I started my comic that I wanted to do something with him writing and me doing the art. And we came up with a couple different ideas, and out of the blue, he handed me the script for this first issue. And, like, I'm really excited about where he could take it, because if you watch Rumi's and movies, like, he considers all these social ideas and concepts a lot more for the newer movies and whatnot. Like, not only what they're trying to say with their movies, but the way they do it. So he's taking care of all of that, and all I have to do is the art for it. So I'm really excited about doing it. I think I'm going to do it here. So with the marker month, I'm doing with my sketchbook. I think I want to do the book in like this kind of style, this sketchy marker-esque style.
Okay, cool.
So I think I'm going to be working in that style. I think that way it's going to take me a lot lesser. Because I really want to get this like sketch style into comic form, if that makes sense.
But, okay, so no heavy inks, or is that what you mean by sketch style?
Yeah, I don't think so. I like with this one, this like cyberpunk skull. I know you can't see this, but I'm sure you've seen the picture. But like, it's got very, it doesn't really have inks. Like it has some outlines and whatnot with markers, but for the most part, it's the shapes and the definition of characters that like give off this sketchy style that I think are gonna work really well for this comic series. So. Oh yeah.
No, I'm super excited for you guys working together.
I mean, of course, because now you're gonna see the cover next week.
Yeah. But also, like, you know, like Luke has his like whenever he argues a movie with you, you know, like he has some very interesting reasons why some things work or don't work. That is all, you know, it's part of the fun of watching your podcast. So yeah, it'd be cool to see what he brings to the table. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I know what the first issue is, and I'm so excited to share it with other people that I'm probably going to leave it to him what he wants to put out there first. Like, I'll probably be showing works in progress on mine because I'm not worried about spoilers necessarily because I think I'm going to leave out a lot of the dialogue. I think I'm just going to do straight art. We might get a letterer, so I don't know.
Cool.
But I think I'm going to do all the artwork first, and then if anything, I'll just do the dialogue over it, and then tape it like I did with those first issues that I redid for I Never Forgot.
Yeah. And like, are you keeping it digital, or are you also going to print with this one?
Probably, definitely going to print. I think it'll probably be like stretch goals for the next Kickstarter. That's why I want to get the first 6 or 7 pages done for preview. If it all goes well, I'll probably just print it off and send it with this, with issue 8 and 9 to show people what's going to be coming down the pipeline. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm so torn because with all the problems that Patreon had the last couple days, and like the app's super awful to work with, and like I just wish they'd straighten it out because all I want is one centralized location for like all my art stuff, and like I think that would work well if they could just figure out all their stuff. So.
Yeah, and also like just make it easy and fun for people to follow who are not, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can
before their
imagine.
major update last time, they had a good, like they had it systematically like a feed like Facebook or Instagram used to, and that worked really well. And then they decided to change everything and made it like a drop-down menu where you have to like search for people you follow and everything. So. I don't know. It's a real mess, that's for sure.
It's for me the mess with Patreon is much more like I just want to post a picture through the app, and why am I constantly fighting between setting it to private or Patreon, or like it just keeps reverting. Like you do one thing and then it just keeps like popping back and like does the wrong thing, and it's like, oh my god. Just can't deal with this. But I do like Patreon, what it ultimately, sets out to do. And the amount of artists that we get to support and like the stuff that you see behind the scenes, it's still a very awesome thing.
I have seen whisperings of, I think like Kickstarter has Drip that they're working on. That's like a Patreon alternative, which I'd be all right with, considering how many Kickstarters I've done for I Never Forgot at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think when we do the Kickstarter for my trade and include your comic with that, I'm half tempted to have you run your own Kickstarter for it, just because all the work you're putting into it, I want to see you get paid for all that. So.
True. In my mind, like how I see Phosphor, because like the I don't want to say I'm like at a disadvantage being here in Europe, but like in my mind, like I'm actually thinking like I would be happy to see Phosphor simply published digitally, and not even like in comic book form, like actually in print. That would be like like the next step, But this is something like we should discuss like when we're closer to that goal. I think.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Like another thought would be like you did this like that preview for issue 0, and so that could be a cool thing to include with your Kickstarter. Like just do like say like the opening 5 pages or something, or the opening 10 pages.
Yeah, or I think the normal for like teaser issues like that are probably like doing the 12 pages, but like that would be cut up to like 8, and then like your social media and whatnot, and probably like a pinup or whatnot. So that'd be cool to do it that way.
Yeah, like I think we have options like how we present it. But I in my mind, like I think what I always thought would be very, very cool is if we use your Comixology connection and like, because you wanted to set up like the Oxen Playground as a publishing venture, so we could, publish under your banner.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about that a lot too, that it'd be great to get a secondary title under the Oxen Playground banner, because I know all my issues so far have been as that. So, yeah, hell yeah.
Got it. Oh, okay.
That's
This
awesome.
is my, yeah, but it's my typical, I've run out of space.
I think it works so much better like that, like just because it just looks killer.
There we go. So now we need to find a Peggy 13 thing here. Like your Oxen Playground logo right here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to add some colors, and then I'm going to slap on a Photoshop filter, I think.
Right on. That's rad.
So you can get that plastic effect here.
Hell yeah. That's so awesome.
Excellent. All right. One last thing. What were you saying?
No, I think that's about it. I think for the most part, I think we're ready to kick it out for another week.
Excellent.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm set. Like I've got 2 more pages to do for next week. I hope to notch up the quality a little bit compared to these last 3, and with no penalties in the way, I should be able to do just fine working full time.
So for 3 goals, you're saying 2 pages are those 1 goals, and then a 3rd goal is to go back and touch up that 1 page with those corrections you wanted to make?
Yeah, like do some. Well, actually, when I say touch up for 1 page, I think I might do more than 1 page, but I'd rather overachieve. So this 1 page is definitely going to get the Photoshop treatment.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
So we do a little shout out for Jeff's.
Oh, absolutely. If you've been following us, our progress, the reason we're doing so well is because we had great teachers before us. I know Kevin Cross is getting close with his first issue of Monkey Mod, which is so dope. But other than that, if you search on Indiegogo for Berserker it's B-E-R-S... Oh, wait. B-E-R-S-E-R-K-O-N-A-U-T.
Yes.
On Indiegogo. Check that out. Support him. He hand paints every page. It's killer design. It's basically Frankenstein meets Terminator. And I'm looking forward to that first issue so much. He has a lot of it up on Webtoons. I think he has about half of it up on Webtoons right now. So if you want to get a preview of what to come, but he's basically looking to get enough funding to get it into Diamond and comic stores around the globe that way. So that'd be dope if he could accomplish that goal, and I think that'll only help us out for achieving our goals down the road to seeing him accomplish that. So
especially since Jeff, like yourself, is still doing the 100 Days of Making Comics, so we can follow his progress over on YouTube.
Hell yeah. So, speaking of YouTube, you have any sketch alones coming this week?
I actually have none planned, but let's see what I can do tomorrow. Like, I need to shoot some footage for like an hour or so, like doing art. And then, I don't want to complain, but there's a bit of a heat wave going on. and so it actually makes me simply not want to go outside.
Oh,
like
I completely believe you.
It's like walking into a blast furnace. And I think today or tomorrow, the warnings are out that we're going to hit the European record for hottest day ever recorded somewhere in Spain or Portugal. And so, yeah, like I was
inside.
Yeah, I was looking at the weather maps. You know, like how red is the hottest.
Mm-hmm.
They started using black.
Wow.
Like that's how bad it is. Yeah, that's how bad it is. So like all over Spain, but even all the way up in Germany and Holland and parts of France, like they're going into the blacks.
I've seen a few other friends in the UK saying that it's getting uncomfortable there. So they're not seeing as much heat as you guys are?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you know, the thing is, at least here in Spain, we can make the argument that the culture and the lifestyle and everything is built around a very long, very hot summer. So people are a lot more worried about folks dying in places like France, because that's what happened last time, like around 2012, there was a heat wave, and something like 30,000 people died.
Holy crap.
Like, yeah, because people are just not, you know, they're just like, oh yeah, whatever, there's a heat wave, yes, it's hot, whatever. And then, you know, like, because we're not geared towards it, like we're not, like up north, you don't have ACs, you know, you're not installing an AC unit for 2 weeks of summer.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, this is all the AC I have right now, so and it's blowing this way. So.
Well,
but
be
yeah,
safe, my friend.
Yes, I will be. Lots of water, the occasional beer, and not venturing outside when it's daytime. So.
Hell yeah. So,
right.
yeah, I think that'll do it for us. Join us next week. It'll be on my channel. So if you haven't, add Yann if you haven't, if you're coming from my friends group. Find us on YouTube, Twitter, all the social medias. I believe we're all under the same username. So, yeah.
And stay tuned. Stay tuned here on Instagram to check out the latest pictures, you know, for what's happening during the week.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited.
Awesome.
So yeah,
see you next week.
Check you out. Yeah, later, bros.
Have a good one.